I do what I do. He knows what I'm about to tell him right now. It's Mr. Keep Running Your Mouth. That's what I do.
I just feel like I'm the champ, and at the end of the day, I'm just a fighting motherfucker. It doesn't matter. Inside, outside, I can just fight. So I just feel like if it gets down to the wire, and we gotta lock it up, I'm out on top.
Hey, look, as you can see how I'm looking, I stay solid. I'm always solid. I stay fucked solid up, right? You know what I'm saying? To the fans that know.
Every day, outside the ring. I'm a fighter. Like I said before, ain't no safety on the clock, so I'm ready.
I'll take them how they come and make them look ordinary.
When I was a casual, I thought as a casual, I spoke like a casual, and I looked at boxing like a casual. But when I became a hardcore, I put away all those casual things. This is Michael Rogers, and welcome to Bodywork Boxing. What's going on? This is Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. And today I want to talk about a young man that I'm nicknaming Tank Sinatra. Why you say that, Mike? Because let me go back and do a little leg work, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a good time to actually do this video and actually talk about it because let's start with Money Mayweather, right? Because, you know, like last year I started getting frustrated a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Being a Tank fan, you know what I'm saying? Him being one of my marquee guys that I be checking for, you know, because his skills for him being from out here in Baltimore where I currently reside, you know, and you know where he come from and his story and what he's been able to do, you know, as an example for the youth, right? I started getting real frustrated. And I'm like, you know, why is Tank not getting in there and fighting, you know, the people that, you know, we're demanding, right? And I just went to where I started looking at different people. I started getting different takes, and I came to a conclusion, and I had to pick a side when it came to Tank, because as every fan knows that unless you're a casual, like casuals, they want the fights, they want it now, they want the biggest, you know, and even hardcores want the skilled fighters, they want the best skilled fighters against the best skilled fighters, right? But we all know that it's not just that simple. So I got to thinking, and I'm like, well, why is Floyd managing like that? Well, it goes back to Floyd when he was going through his thing on Top Rank, and you know he was trying to get to the bag, and because he had a silver medal and Oscar had a gold medal, Oscar's paydays were so much bigger. But early on, it was clear. It was very clear that he was better than Oscar, and it was only a matter of time before they actually collided and Floyd would actually do his thing. Well, that bitterness, you know, that get back, that desire to be the best and to like milk the game for everything it's worth, it seeped deep into Floyd. And Floyd transformed into Money Mayweather, where it's all about money, right? So I started thinking about it. I said, okay, well, started understanding more about the business of boxing and, you know, how that plays a part on why we don't get to see the biggest fights, right? Because right now we got some people saying, oh man, you know, Tank should go fight Josh Taylor, Tank should fight Teofimo Lopez, Tank should fight Devin Haney. Well, it's a big major problem with all of those fights. Why? Because Tank is with Floyd and he has an obligation with Showtime. Devin is supposed to be a free agent, but he's really on his own, and everything goes through Eddie. And Teofimo is on Top Rank with an obligation to ESPN. So right after his little the zone ordeal because of the first bid and all that, he has an obligation to ESPN. So you got promoters and networks, and you got how the pie is going to be shaped or sliced, shall I say? How it's going to be allotted out to everybody, right? So I'm thinking, okay, well, shoot, can it be made? And you know, a lot of people say Tank hasn't fought anybody, and this and this. It's like he's fought some he's fought some challenges. You know, he hasn't fought the kind of people that boxing purists really want to see. You know, but it's not that hard to be able to see that Tank is a special talent, right? But here we have it where you have people who, as early as about a year and a half ago, they were basically saying, "Oh man, Tank's so stupid. He's not even listening to Mayweather. How could you? He's the best ever. Why would you not listen?" So now that he's actually listening and he's disciplined and he's focused and he moved his camp out there and he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing, taking guidance. Now they saying he should leave. It's like fans, you know what I'm saying? You can't please them and you can't kill them, right?
I'll take them how they come and make them look ordinary.
You know, but anyways, I'm thinking about, okay, well, how can these fights be made? And this is the big dilemma, right? You have Tank with an obligation to Showtime. Now, Tank is already doing his numbers as a pay-per-view attraction, and that's what Leonard Ellerbe is calling it. So why would you build yourself up to become such a big attraction, and then, welcome yourself or open yourself up to fighting somebody? And this is the catch. It's not that you don't have the skills or the talent to be able to beat them. It's the fact that they, in turn, will take the fact that, okay, you can make what you're making regardless who you fight. And it's been shown because some of the names that he's fought, some people didn't really know them. Hardcore boxing fans knew because we watch and we know, okay, this guy's this, whatever, So you could say the same thing like for somebody like Barrios. A lot of people didn't know Barrios, but people who was following boxing, they knew Barrios. They knew that he was not, a big name, but they knew the challenges that he presented, and they liked him, his personality and everything. They knew that. But see, Tank did a certain amount of numbers with Barrios. So it's saying, okay, well, shoot, why not go fight Josh Taylor? And Leonard Ellerbe said, well, he don't sell tickets. And then here recently you hear Tank coming out and saying that T.O., he don't sell tickets. Well, it's obvious because Triller, and they lost their little option on T.O. to actually win the purse bid. I guess they didn't believe that he was selling tickets, and I guess the numbers weren't there to justify for it to be, so they postponed the fight several times. So I got to thinking, I said, okay, well, they're straight up ducking, like, I don't want no smoke, and then there's ducking to where people say that you outprice yourself. But what is actually outpricing yourself? Outpricing yourself is knowing that you have an obligation to a network, and then saying that you want to fight Tank, but then you're not making an offer. Because I believe Floyd is all about money. That's why he called Money Mayweather. You're not making an offer that they can't refuse. But then when it comes down to it, it's like, okay, well, yeah, I'll fight Tank. But then you went and ask for a price that they're not going to be willing to pay you for the fight. Or you try to use that I have all these belts. Well, it's obvious Floyd don't care about a belt. They made Tank into an attraction to where until he proves otherwise, he can pick on whoever he wants to say, hey, come fight me, and he going to get that guaranteed payday. It's the same thing that Bud was doing over there at Top Rank. Bud knew what he was going to get paid, and he could pick, choose, and refuse. No, I don't want to. Oh, no, well, Bob said the numbers. And so, we got to be able to admit that we saw it when Bud was doing it. But when Tank doing it, it's a whole different story. So what's going on is Floyd is actually controlling Tank. And a lot of people saying he should break he should break ranks and he do his own thing. He could. People would want to see him, but if he is a loyal guy, which I'm reasoning that he is a loyal guy, why would he mess up something that's already going good for him? That's not me being a fanboy. That's not me being, But if I can understand that for Bud, I would have to understand it for somebody like Tank. Because you understand it when it comes to your favorite fighter. Like you understand it, like, and I like T.O. as well. He's one of my guys that I check for too. So you got to be able to understand it when T.O. is like, okay, I got all these belts. I'll fight on ESPN. I'll fight such and such. Well, if somebody like, let's say Devin Haney, if Devin Haney's saying, oh, well, I want this amount of money, or he's not making an offer that Bob and ESPN and all them that they can't refuse, it would be considered a form of ducking. Why? Because you know how the business, these boxers, they know how the business works. They're not going to make these kind of deals when they know that, okay, well, if I ask for this amount, let's take Thurman, or when Thurman asked for 10. During the COVID and with Thurman being inactive and maybe a question mark being by what he can draw based on his inactivity, not because of his history, because history showed that he can actually sell. He can put butts in seats. You know what I'm saying? Because he was the man. He only suffered one loss to Manny Pacquiao. It's just like Regis Prograis. He only suffered one loss to Josh Taylor. So these guys are live dogs. They just aren't as active. So that's being used to say, all right, well, we don't know what you're going to sell. You're asking for too much. So yeah, Keith Thurman might have came in a little bit higher, but that was a point of negotiation where, okay, well, we can't give you 10, but maybe we can give you 4. But then they got to take into consideration what Bud was making and, with Bob and his mentality and how he don't really want to pay anybody. I mean, they were trying to give Sean Porter $1 million. So what's the business of boxing? So here we go back. Let's go back to Tank. You got Tank right now. He in a dilemma because his dad's partner just got canceled. Or that's the rumor. I'm not going to get into why or what's going on. And a lot of us, we either want to see Regis, we want to see Gary Russell, we want to see Devin Haney. Those are the ones that everybody would like to see. That's been the consistency. And we're trying to figure out, okay, how can that happen? Well, one, they're going to say, well, Gary Russell's not a draw. Well, people that are overly critical are going to say, well, maybe Mario Barrios, he wasn't necessarily a draw either. Which leads me to, okay, well, how much is Gary going to want? And our reason that he's not going to want that much money, and our reason that he'll sign a dotted line, and I'm reasoning that Regis is not going to want a lot of money, and I'm reasoning that he would actually sign a dotted line. But to sum this all up, I was watching one of my shows that I always check for, and I look at, I would say it's probably the best show going. You get a lot of interviews. You have a lot of different people, from coaches to contenders to champions to, people that's in the media and everything. And they were talking about Tim Bradley, and when Tim Bradley was asked about Floyd and why he never fought, they were saying that Tim was basically saying that, you know the deal. You don't pick Floyd. Floyd picks you. Okay. So, Tank is Floyd's cash cow. And that's how he's moving Tank as well. You don't pick Tank. Tank picks you. So I'm reading that it's not pandemonium when you say, okay, these guys don't really want to fight Tank. And then when you say Tank don't really want to fight these guys, he's being managed by Floyd. All that belt stuff, that goes out the window. Even though boxing purists or people that's more focused on legacy say, hey, go fight Josh Taylor. Go fight T.O. It's legacy. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you can't change that. But the times are changing. Now you got fighters going back and forth on Twitter talking about, well, I make more money than you. I mean, you take somebody like Devin. Devin to get up there and say, oh, man, well, I make $3 million. I make more money or less, but not really fighting anybody. So right now it's all about money. And we got to understand that the times are changing as far as boxing goes. It's not back in the day when these guys used to fight, once a month, once every 2 months. Like, they were fighting, like, I mean, I think it said that Canelo back in the day, he said he fought 15 times in a year. So that equates to more than once a month. So it's like when it comes down to Tank and who really wants to fight him, it's like I'm not really seeing anybody that really want to fight. Even when you ask, they asked Shakur, what do you think about Tank? And he said that's a big fight down the line. Tio says, oh yeah, man, we can make it happen, but it's the business of boxing that's not happening. My question is, Tank, can we get a Gary Russell or a Regis Prograis? Can we get one of them guys? You know what I'm saying? And I understand the business of boxing. And so anybody else who don't really want to, when you paint these narratives like such and such is ducking this and ducking that, it's like, no, you can look at it from two different perspectives. Do they really want to fight each other? Are they scared of each other? I don't really think none of these boxers are really scared of each other. They're not. I mean, they get hit in the head for a living. Some people get knocked out. Some people knock people out. But I don't really think at the end of the day they're really scared. Especially like to get outboxed by somebody. Like the misnomer that everybody's dodging Devin and ducking Devin just to be outboxed. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really think that that's a real threat. And to get knocked out, yeah, I think to get their career put on pause or to go through what a Regis Prograis is going through or a Keith Thurman is going through, where it's so hard for these guys with one loss. It's very notable. Josh Taylor and Pacquiao to only have suffered one loss and to be this hard to actually get a fight. So it boils down to who really want to fight Tank? Who want to fight Tank? Who gonna make Tank an offer they can't refuse? Who's really gonna be willing to sign the dotted line and not get caught up in all this business, the business of boxing stuff? Because at the end of the day, I don't think Tank is dunking no smoke for real. It gotta work. I would like to see Gary Russell. I would like to see Regis Prograis, and I'm hoping that's what we get. Body work.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
My word, and I do what I do. He knows what I'm about to tell him right now. It's Mr. Keep running your mouth. That's what I do.
I just feel like I'm the champ, and at the end of the day, I'm just a fighting motherfucker. It doesn't matter. Inside, outside, I can just fight. So I just feel like if it gets down to the wire, and we gotta lock it up, I'm out on top.
As you can see how I'm looking, I stay solid. I'm always solid. I stay fuck solid up, right? You know what I'm saying? To the fans and all.
Do their job outside the ring. I'm a fighter, like I said before. Ain't no safety on the clock, so I'm gonna